So Sony's becoming like Canon? What is good, YouTube? It's that one camera guy back at it again with another video. In this episode, I have a discussion with you where I share my thoughts about Sony's decision to omit SLOG as well as Playmemories App in their new flagship camera, the Sony A9. Let's get started. So what's the deal? In the video I released a while back titled, I pre-ordered the Sony A9, I stated that the missing SLOG or picture profile wasn't that big of an issue since I really didn't use it all that much. However, after contemplating Sony's decision for the past few days, I realized it was a big mistake. On top of that, during my live show with Jason Vong, which we host every Monday, a viewer brought up that the Sony Playmemories app wasn't going to be on the Sony A9. What's going on here? So what gives? Why does it bother me? It bothers me because I don't want Sony to start making similar decisions that Canon has made in the past, where certain features are withheld because a camera could be labeled a pro camera or a non-cinema camera. I get the argument about segmenting products and your target audience. I get all that, trust me. It's just that the SLOG picture profile has been made available in nearly all recent Sony cameras. I have the Alpha 6300, the 6500, the A7 II, A7R II, the RX10 Mark II, and the RX100 Mark IV, and all of those cameras have SLOG. So I have a number of those Sony cameras, which offer the picture profiles, yet here comes a flagship camera and it's not even there. Here's my theory. I think Sony is really testing the user base. They want to see what the reaction is from the community. They want to know how we react to it. I think if we don't say anything, Sony will just quietly leave this stuff out. However, if there's a number of users who voice their opinion, then Sony may consider returning those features onto the camera via firmware update. On a side note, do you recall the 5D Mark IV C-Log update? The log profile was omitted from the 5D Mark IV initially because it wasn't touted as a cinema camera, but I'm sure there was enough people in industry who said that we really need this feature in this camera, and now they actually have that update available for it, which is going to cost them $100 as well as sending the camera in to Canon to get the update done. Let's not get to that point, Sony. I've been called a fanboy many times in my videos, and honestly, I'm far from it. I'm a tech enthusiast at heart, and I love the technology that Sony is implementing into their cameras, and I'm sure you do too. However, if Sony does something odd, or they kind of fail somewhere, or they do something wrong with their product, I'll voice my concerns, just like the overheating issues that were very predominant in the Sony cameras. It's really important that you really don't let Sony slide on things like this, or it's going to become commonplace. I know that Sony watches these videos, and they pay attention to the market, and they pay attention to what consumers are saying. So if you're a general viewer watching this, what are your thoughts? Is it a good thing Sony is doing this? Should they be removing features? I know you might not be buying the camera, but do you think this is the right step that Sony's taking? I don't really use the Playmemories app other than to get the memories tweaked on the camera. I think the removal of the Playmemories app was a means of preventing any circumventing with the camera. For instance, removing record limits on the camera via hack, which I definitely understand on their part. I just don't like the message that Sony is giving to its user base when features are removed because they think X user won't need it. I don't know if you remember back when the A7S came out and everyone's like shocked, and the fact that the camera could record 4K as long as you had the right recording external monitor with it from Atomos. And then all of a sudden, we thought that maybe the A7S was the specific video camera and the R series was specifically for resolution. And then in 2015, Sony released the A7R II with 4K recording. And I think that completely changed the landscape of the environment where you had the in-body image stabilization and you got 4K, really great resolution on that camera, which we thought was going to be reserved primarily to the A7S series. But they didn't. They gave that feature up to their other cameras. So I don't want Sony to go into this direction of limiting features in their cameras just because. So my pre-order is still on with the Sony A9, and I'm very much excited to finally get it in my hands to test it out. However, we'll definitely see the reaction from Sony with regard to these missing features that I've mentioned. Folks, that's all I've got for you in this video. Let me know in the comments section below what you think about all of this. I really don't think Sony should be given a pass on this, because you don't want these things to start happening with your other cameras, because it can. Now, if you want to see another video from me, go ahead and click somewhere over here. And if you want to catch up with all the videos that I'm producing and stay up to date, go ahead and click somewhere over here to subscribe. And if you're curious about any of the gear that I'm using, I've got a link to my kit down in the description below that will share with you what I'm currently shooting with. And with that said, I'm your host, Owen Camera Guy, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.